I'm going to share with you how to establish goals that push you beyond yourself instead of allowing limits to direct you. Can you imagine what that would do for your own life and career? Are you ready? Let's go. Limits don't get a vote. If you ever gotten an email from me, you've seen those words just below my signature. One of the toughest lessons you will learn in sales is how to manage limits without letting them manage you. You do that by learning one simple rule. Limits should be observed, not always obeyed. A circus elephant is tied to a rope that limits his movement when he's young. Once he learns he can't go further than the rope allows, his trainer will remove it. The elephant is able to move wherever he wants to, but because he believes the attempt will end like all the others, that he will be stopped, he refuses to even try. The limits imposed on him when he was young direct his behavior for the rest of his life. What about you? Are you establishing goals that push you beyond yourself? Or are you allowing limits to direct you? There's an easy way to know the difference. You set goals, you see limits. Goals move you forward. Limits show you where you should stop. Goals are a means to an end. You position them on the path you laid out for yourself. You decide what they are and how they fit into your plans. A limit is a fence, something that either prohibits or discourages movement past a certain point. Limits can speak to you, but they shouldn't be speaking for you. That's because limits will not challenge you to become any more than you already are. Limits reminds us that we are human and that everything has boundaries. That's true. But that's not all there is to know. Limits can't dream. They don't know or even want to know how to make the invisible possible. Limits won't show you a number one trophy if you never had one. The problem with limits is that too often they help amplify what they've already been saying about ourselves. Maybe you see MDRT as some unreachable goal because your inner voice is telling you that you don't have what it takes. That's how we get into slumps. We make up a negative story in our head about why we can't move forward, and every roadblock gets bigger and bigger. Then we go from struggling to not even trying, and it's just a short jump from there to quitting. I'm not suggesting that your career should be carefree and without problems or challenges. Most people never even had a day like that. What I am saying is limits are designed to stop you in your tracks. You're designed to grow and progress. Do you see the problem with letting limits define you? I was just 9 years old in Eufaula, Alabama, standing as I did every day in front of a drinking fountain I was required to clean, but not allowed to drink from. Above it was a sign that said, "Whites only." That sign defined a limit for me. It told me where I could not go and showed me something that was not mine. But something in me kept asking, why not me? The question would never leave me alone. What was it about my blackness, I wondered, that wasn't good enough? For a sip of water, a seat at a lunch counter, a decent education, a hospital, or the front of a bus. What was it about me that made it okay to raise the bar and lower the ceilings at the same time? Why not me? That day, my 9-year-old mind settled on an idea. I thought maybe if I tasted the white water, if I looked past the limits imposed by that sign, I would find an answer to my question. So I waited until after everyone went home one night. I stood in the dark. And when I was sure no one driving by would see me through the window, I drank from that white water fountain. You know what happened? Nothing and everything. The water wasn't better or sweeter or special. It was just as wet as the water I drank at home. It slid down my throat the same way. But I reasoned at 9 years old that if white water was no different than my water, maybe I was no different from white people. Not different in the ways that matter. I am struck by how much that one act of a little boy's courage has shaped my thinking. Success, it seems to me, is like that white-only drinking fountain. People will pass by it or look at it from far away and assume it's not for them. They will long for it and then look at the past, their failures, their lack of the limitation of their circumstances, and convince themselves that success is a different life, meant for different people, better people. Don't you believe it? Success is your legacy as long as you decide to reach for it. Expect to be told that you're not entitled to live a great life. Then remember, you're plan A, and there is no plan B. When limits don't speak for us, they lose their power over us. They stop being a barrier and become an opening, showing us a new way of moving forward. We were not designed to quit before we finish living. We are designed to test our limits and move past them in body, mind, and spirit. What's limiting you? Leave a comment below. Imagine if we were all honest and engaged with this video. I'm sharing personal limits I've had. But as more and more you share in the comments, you will see all types of limits that have been holding us all back. Remember, limits can speak to you, but they shouldn't be speaking for you. Sharing our limits and our fears give us as a community even more power to dream together.